I'm a man, not just a sperm transmitter, not one who bullies employees of the legislature, not one who hypocritically talks about family values and violates a wedding vow, a marriage vow. I have another little rhyme I'm going to read, then I'll just wing it from there. The devil is in the details. Satan takes great satisfaction watching the hypocrite of God in action. Oh, he boasts of godly devotion while indulging in self-promotion. Characteristic of his shabby life includes betrayal of his wife. Loudly of transparency he yaps, but lying lips God's hypocrite flaps. I'm transparent, yes I am. Regarding his sexploits, silent as a clam. Cross my heart and hope to die, he would utter, if I lie. But he dared not take that shot, God would slay him on the spot. Chuckles Satan, it's a shame, he gives God a very bad name. If he is the best God has, my old foe I then could razz, and might find in my heart pity. God knows it is far from pretty when his best does lack all class, and he haws like a lying ass. I cannot restrain a grin. Satan versus God, I'll win. That's the best God has. God talks to him.
1 minute.
I haven't heard anybody on this floor say God talks to them. If I said God talks to me, what would you say? That I'm lying. But I'm coming closer to what God would have somebody to say than what he said or what any of you will do. Look at you, sitting here, those few of you who are here, wishing I'd be quiet. Well, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. If wishes were meat, the hungry would eat. So I'm going to do what I intend to do, and I expect the same of all of you. Laugh, mock, and let the public see this upstanding, moral, family values talking legislature. Some of you have sold out to the governor already. They know there's not much to you. You don't have integrity. What did you do the first day of the session? You got people in chairpersonships. Now forget all that I've said before. I like to have fun with my good friend, Senator Groney.
Time, Senator. But I see you're next in the queue, so you can continue.
Thank you. Senator Groney.
This is your third time, by the way.
And they probably say, woo, thank God, if a God there be. He knows that I listen carefully to him. I play close note to him. Now, he can't take this personally. I've mentioned that people get to be chairs of committees without the qualification to go along with it. My good friend Senator Groney just proved that a few minutes ago. You all didn't get it because you don't listen to him. I listen to him. Anybody can misspeak, and I like to get a little humor out of it. The word was expedite in an amendment, and my good friend, the chairperson of the Education Committee, pronounced it expedite. I listen, and y'all get mad at me because I pay attention to you. I want you to pay attention to me. And if you catch me walking box ankle, sloop-footed, and pigeon-toed, call me on it. You all can help me improve myself. I am not so lacking in confidence. I do not have such a fragile ego that if somebody shows me that what I've said is incorrect, I'm going to get the Jim Jam trimmings, be shaken like a leaf on a tree, and angry. No, I should mark what I say. And if I'm in error, what does a teacher do when you take a spelling class if you're in grade school? If you put the I before E when it should be reversed, then you get a red mark. That's to call your attention to it, help correct that error so you won't do it again. But children who have to speak and learn English are given an impossible task. The rule is I before E except after C, or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. All right, if I comes before E except after C, unless the I before E is pronounced as a neighbor and way or whatever, why don't you pronounce the words you all mispronounce either and either? You should pronounce it either. But the rule doesn't mean anything. I've got a long poem that I wrote to show all or some of the vagaries in English that these children have to contend with. Adults don't. On this floor, you can say them there. You can say this here. You can say me when you ought to say I. You can say I when you should say me. You don't want to say she. You don't want to say him and me. Both are the objective. So you say him and I. Well, you're mixing the objective with the nominative. You shouldn't do that. It should be he and I, or him and me. But you've been taught to think that whenever you use the word me, you're mispronouncing, you're not grammatical. So it's he and I, him and I, they and I, them and I. Gemini is okay, by the way, because that's a word. If Gemini is the proper way to pronounce that, why do you say Jiminy Cricket? What are poor children to do when they can't listen to us and know how to do something correctly? And if they listen to us and take it to the classroom, they get a red mark. You all don't think. I paid attention to what happened in school because I had trouble recognizing letters.
1 minute.
I had trouble learning how to pronounce words. Where do you put the emphasis? Which syllable do you place the emphasis upon? So I was laughed at by children when the word was spelled A-G-E-N-T. I knew the letter A could be pronounced when it stood alone. I did know that G-E-N-T was pronounced gent. So when I saw A-G-E-N-T, I put them together and I came out a gent. And the little children who knew how to pronounce the word just laughed like little children would do. And I can't fault them, but I learned that there is a different way to pronounce these words than what I think. So I'm going to find out how these words are pronounced. I'm going to listen to people, but I also got a dictionary. And I learned those marks that tell whether it's a long vowel, a short vowel, or one of those which is neither long nor short. Because as the philosopher said in the tavern, there are some things as is, there's some things as ain't, there's some things as neither is nor ain't, and this falls somewhere between the last two. And that's what the drunks who are wise say. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Chambers. Senator Craighead would like to recognize 3 guests to the legislature: Dr. Nancy Capello of Woodbury, Connecticut, Bill Roth, and Austin Mackerel of Omaha. They are under the north balcony. If you'd please stand and be welcomed by the Nebraska legislature. Thank you for visiting. Seeing no one else in the queue, Senator Stinner, you're recognized to close on your proposed amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the legislature, I believe that this amendment is a good compromise. It provides you extra time, but with that extra time, we have to have some adjustments as it relates to hearings, which is the trigger for the agencies to provide the information to properly put together and put together that fiscal note. You know, I guess I can listen 72 hours. I don't agree with that. Fiscal doesn't agree with that. They say 48. I'm staying with 48. This is a good proposal. And if you want to sometimes take a look at it, let's do an interim study if that's what we want to do to see where we want to be. But we're talking about, trading your car up from a Chevy to a Cadillac. You paid for that Cadillac. I'm on a fixed income, so I'm back with the Volkswagen. But in any event, this is a good proposal. This is a good amendment. Please support this amendment. Fiscal Office will be behind it. Fiscal Office will continue to hit that standard of excellence that we're talking about. So please support the amendment. Thank you.